Hello and welcome to my meditation. My name is Debra Baker and I am so grateful that you have joined us for this little while. We are in the middle of a series on healing our inner children, our inner child, and using a technique called Ho'onoponopono, which I will explain, and I will also have a slide of it at the end of this meditation so you can save it if you want. So let's get started. As usual, let's begin with our 3 nice, really deep breaths. Filling up our lungs, holding it for a moment, and then releasing it a little more slowly than we brought it in. And now take a little deeper breath, a little slower. Filling up your chest and your back. Just feel your ribs expand a little. Hold it for a moment and then, and now take the deepest breath you've taken all day. Really expand your chest, your back, and your belly. Just fill it up. Hold it for a moment and then and just feel your breathing slowing down just a little. Sorry for the noise of the cicadas. It's, late summer and the cicadas like to make their presence known. So let's begin by relaxing our bodies. And let's do it kind of quickly so we can jump into the heart of the meditation. So just draw everything up to the center line. So press your feet and your ankles together, your knees, your upper legs. Just press your legs together. Hold it for a breath cycle. Press, press, press. And then release it. And now clench your fists. Turn your hands toward your arms. And pull your arms to your sides. And just hold that. Squeeze that all in for a breath cycle. Just kind of tightening up all the muscles in your arms and your hands. And then let that go. And now let's do our pelvis. So draw up your pelvic floor, your hips, your lower abdomen, your glutes. Just pull all those muscles in tight for a moment. A breath cycle. And then let it go. And now your middle torso. Pull your abs in, your sides, your back, just like you're squeezing your middle. For a breath cycle, squeeze, 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 and let it go. And now your chest. So imagine you're hugging yourself. So pull your shoulders forward as though you're kind of hugging the front of your chest. And squeeze it in. Or you can bring your shoulder blades back, whichever squeeze feels better, and just squeeze it for a moment. And now my favorite one, tuck your chin, pull your shoulders up to your ears, and just kind of squeeze all around your head, neck, and shoulders. Pull your facial muscles tight. And squeeze, 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 and then let it go. And so I've been taking a dive ever since I officially started healing transformations in 2000, so 24 years ago. I've been exploring healing, but since I wrote my first book, Amazing Intuition, my guides told me my second book would be Amazing Healing. So I've really been looking into what that means. And my sense is if there's something about us that we need to heal that seems blocked, we need to allow the healing to go more and more deeply into our souls, not really our souls, into our hearts, into our personalities, into our memories, into our sense of who we are, and all the things that happen to us. So just take a deep breath, thinking about all that. So last time, which was actually 2 weeks ago, we looked into healing our infinite and baby selves up to about the age of 2. And so today we're going to look at healing ourselves, just allowing healing into our memories, into our history, into our inner child from about the age of 2 until we started school. And so Ho'onoponopono is a Hawaiian healing technique, and last time I did this, someone gave me some feedback and said, I really don't like it. And I think the reason for the resistance was the same reason I resisted, which was I didn't like the idea of having to apologize for something I didn't do, which was something that was required of me a lot growing up. So I invite you to let go of that idea and to imagine that the apology, which we'll get into in a second, but the apology comes from somewhere that it couldn't come from. So, you know, my mother created a lot of harm to her children, and she was, you know, never took ownership for it, never thought she did anything wrong, but she did cause a lot of harm. I know she did the best she could, but the apology that would have really helped is never going to come from her. But we can create the energy of that apology ourselves. So when we say the first sentence of Ho'onoponopono, which is, I'm sorry, it's not that we are sorry or that we have anything to be sorry for. It's the energy of being free of that. So I invite you to think of the first sentence, which is, I'm sorry, and imagine someone, maybe a beloved person, maybe the person who hurt you, maybe you don't even remember who hurt you, but just imagine that I'm sorry is coming to 2-year-old you or 3-year-old you, anywhere up to when you started school, say 5 or 6. And imagine, first of all, like thinking it, I'm sorry, to looking at that sweet, sweet, innocent child and saying, I'm sorry. I find that when I see someone in a lot of pain, I will say, I'm sorry. It doesn't mean that I've done something wrong and I need to apologize. It means, I'm sorry for your pain. I'm sorry you experienced that wound. And so let's just think that word, I'm sorry, as you think about little you, child, 2-year-old you, 3-year-old you. Now imagine being yourself at those ages, that sweet, precious little person, and hearing someone say, I'm so sorry. Just feeling that sense of compassion that someone acknowledges that shouldn't have happened to you, or that was harmful to you, or you didn't deserve that. Just take in that sense of someone saying, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. And now the second statement is, please forgive me. And so imagine that, saying that, thinking that, please forgive me, as though there's something you can do to create that release, that sense of freedom. Please forgive me. And more importantly, feel yourself at, 2, 3, 4, 5 years of age, having someone say, please forgive me. And having a sense, even at that young of an age, that someone's trying to make it right with you. Someone's trying to right the wrong. Please forgive me. Take it in. Take in the thought that you are being given the opportunity to forgive. Because it's a powerful, powerful opportunity. Please forgive me. And the third statement is, I love you. And I think it's easy to think about, just maybe think about some pictures of yourself from that age. Most of us don't have very many memories, and if we do, it's from looking out from ourselves rather than looking at ourselves in the mirror, maybe. But just think of yourself at that age and say, I love you. I love you, precious child. You are so, so precious. You are so dear, so innocent, so cherished. The universe loves you. I love you. All your spirit guides, guardian angels love you. And even if the person or persons that you needed to love you were unable to, or were blocked, or whatever, there were people who loved you, even if you felt unloved. And so imagine your little self hearing someone say, oh, you precious, precious child, I love you. I love you, you precious, precious person. And it wasn't said a lot in my house, that really ever, until I got into, I think, college age and kind of started forcing my mother to say it back. But it just wasn't, and it wasn't said a whole lot in society, And I'm sure my dad heard it very, very seldom, and I don't know if his parents ever heard it because it just wasn't said. But we can say it to our inner child, I love you. And just imagine yourself as that child, taking it in, knowing that you are loved unconditionally, without exception, without reservation, loved unconditionally. That little preschooler that you were. And then the final statement is, thank you. And gratitude is such a powerful, powerful freer. It creates a sense of freedom from the past. When we feel gratitude, we can't hold resentment. We can't hold negative thoughts and gratitude at the same time. And so imagine, first of all, saying to your sweet, sweet child self, your sweet preschool self, thank you. Thank you for what you endured for us. Thank you for the loving, sweet soul that you were. Maybe you were a talker, maybe you were quiet, maybe you were a doer, maybe you sat back, but however you were, we thank you for being yourself. So first, feel yourself saying thank you. And then imagine yourself as an adult holding your child self, maybe on your lap or on the seat next to you, and putting your arms around your inner child, your inner preschooler, and saying, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So, so precious. Thank you. And just take it in and think about it throughout the week. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you. Take another nice deep breath into that energy. And I just want to confirm for you that this healing is taking place, even if it might not feel like it, even if it almost feels like an exercise or just something that you're doing. This healing is taking place in you, and it's healing very, very deep places where you were wounded, and it's going to free you to be more fully yourself, to express more of your infinite soul in your everyday life. So as we get through this process, you will be amazed at how honored and validated you feel. So let's take another nice, really deep breath all the way down to your toes. Hold it for a moment. Let it go, and let me remind you that the one presence moving in, through, and as me honors and recognizes the one presence moving in, through, and as you. In other words, namaste. And just another quick reminder, you are whole and perfect exactly as you are. So have a wonderful week.